A few people got excited yesterday because I said I was using a herbicide in some wheat that was in here after the certain growth stage that is recommended. Well, can't believe quite everything you see on this channel. I mean, there is times when I'm spraying certain fields and I'm on the phone and I can't film what I'm doing. So then when I go on to other things, I will film it in that. So often the words might not quite match the pictures. So for instance, yesterday I was spraying a field of wheat that was really late, trying to kill out the mayweed and the cleavers in it. You can't see that going through the crop because it's a bit lower down. So later on I knew I was going to a field that it had been missed and it was too late, and it would not have been worth doing either because the yield had already been stolen by the weeds. They were so advanced. But it was very photogenic and it demonstrated what I was doing. Whereas if I'd have filmed it in the other field and scanned the camera around, you would not have seen any weeds because they were all in the bottom. So it's the same story, but just a slightly different backdrop. But loads of people got dead excited and thought, oh my God, what's he doing? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but sometimes in order to make things a little bit more easy for people to understand that aren't farmers, sometimes I will use footage or be in a different field to the one that was getting the treatment. And that was a classic example probably over the last few weeks. I've done it a couple of times. I have been doing what I've been saying, but might not have been in that location, if that makes sense. In a field of beans now, doing a bit of grass weed control. It will need a fungicide soon, but it won't be getting an insecticide, despite what some agronomists say. I think we upset some agronomists yesterday by mentioning that they have sales targets and they aren't actually your best mate. But never mind, that's why they went through all my videos and trying to find anything that looked like I was doing something off-label, which I thought was quite amusing. Anyway, there's no such thing as bad publicity. But yeah, spraying these beans now, they're in flower. Lots of bees on them as well, so if you were putting an insecticide on, you better do it at night or first thing in the morning before they're up. But I haven't put insecticide on beans for years because it doesn't make any difference. All it does is kills the beneficials, and then them beneficials are what will eat cabbage stem flea beetle in your oilseed rape, which again, I don't put an insecticide on. In fact, I don't really use any insecticides at all now. The only thing I used to use of late was the seed dressing, which we were banned from using anyway. So yeah, looking great, loads of flowers. They want the rain, hopefully it's coming on Sunday. This is the best bit of the field. Them trees over there with the brambles underneath, lots of rabbits live there. So every year when we go wheat and barley and different things, come out and graze this whole headland off. Anyway, this year they obviously don't like the taste of beans, they've not grazed it off. But all the muck they've left behind must have added like a lot of organic matter to the soil and different things, and the beans have liked it because the beans here are notably twice the height of the beans in the middle of the field. So we've got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of flowers, so that's really good. So hopefully this headland for the first time in about 5 years will return a profit on its inputs. But the rest of the field ain't looking too bad. Like I say, we just need that little bit of rain this Sunday. Just a slight tiny little bit of disease just about to sneak in. So like I say, need a fungicide soon to protect it, keep it green, keep it growing, keep the photosynthesizing and produce some yield. Just look at all the bees on this wildflower strip at the edge of the field. And then obviously they're then going to go into that field that's full of bean flowers as well, which is great. There's 16 ton on that trailer and you can't even tell. And it's not even spilling over the sides. And it's got a valve that locks the back door and hooks that lock the back door, which that one doesn't have, which James has just found out after he's just been sweeping up stone. No deers today, but there's a hare over there if you can see it running. It's quite camouflaged. Ooh, we've got a poppy as well. There's another one hopping about. The good thing about this is that this time of year, you can see one running down the middle of the screen there, is the dog men, the poachers, can't see them in the crop at night with lights, so they're quite safe. But come September, when the crops are cleared and the fields are flat, that's when they can see them, unless we direct drill into a long stubble, which we do try and do, but this year straw's going to be short, so we'll try and bale straw time. Everyone's come back to the nest. This is the field at the back of the new farm where the house is, and it's a little bit rough because when we sown the grass on it and leveled it all off, it was wet. Remember, there's a big hollow, big wet hollow. So we've got some old football pitch over there. It's like a really nice root zone. So Andrew's just got his little JCB and he's levelling the ruts off, or he's trying to. I think he's putting a bit too much on. Keep him busy for a bit, won't it? On a field of beans now, on the light land, not quite as thick, a little bit behind, desperate for rain, hope it comes on Sunday. I'm in a bit of a hurry because the Knowsley Council, which is our local council, want to come and meet me because they're looking at a location for a food and drink festival for next year. So I don't know whether it's something we can do with the sunflower maze. The sunflower maze isn't that close to the village, or it's something we can do at the new farm. So we're going to go and have a look around at different suitable locations for them. 3:30, so it's now like 2 o'clock, so I need to get this finished, fold up and get back. Just waiting for the GPS to get signal. I got a bit excited before because I had the football fixtures were out. Anyway, for the tractor run next year, the Sunday before Christmas has got no football matches, so Liverpool and Everton aren't playing at home. But apparently Sky can move it a few days either way, which could put it to the Sunday. The Sunday the 19th was the one I was thinking of. And to be fair, it probably wouldn't matter if we did it on a weeknight because there's not a lot to do in that weeknight before Christmas anyway. So we'll see what the police think is the best night, and that's the one we'll go with. So we're just trying to work that out now, but we want to get it all planned and all organised so it'll be an even bigger success than it was last year. A few weeks ago, this was a stunning field of barley, but now the barley's starting to neck over. The volunteer wheat is showing in it, and now it starts to look like a field of wheat, which is a little bit annoying. But when you sort of do a head count of what there is, it's only a couple of percent that's actually wheat. It just makes the field look terrible. Anyway, when we come to harvest it, we'll probably have to desiccate it to knock this out a little bit so it threshes out, and it'll just be mixed in with the barley, but it's only feed barley anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we don't always get it right. I think this is wheat we sown not last autumn, the autumn before, that has now germinated because it was so wet back then and it didn't then, but it looks terrible now. Bit of a random afternoon, just spent 2 hours with the local authorities events team because they want to do a food and drink festival in Knowsley, so they're looking for a site. So we think we've got the perfect site at the new farm, so that's all going to be exciting for next year, so 2022. Also a lot of talk about the sunflower maze and what that's going to do for the borough and different things. Talk about the tractor run that we'll be doing again in December. Obviously we're trying to sort the dates out for that. They're happy, they want to get involved with that because it's sort of, they've got like a festival of light year or something, I can't quite understand it, and there's like some sort of baton that we might take round with us on the tractor run. Anyway, spent 2 hours doing that, coming up with different ideas. We've got Shakespeare Theatre being built in the borough as well, so they want to do something to mark that, so they're thinking of some sort of land sculpture or whatever. So lots of exciting things going to be happening in the borough, and they want me to be involved, which is great because it makes it a bit more interesting than farming some days anyway. So going to go back out spraying now, get a little bit more of these beans sprayed off. Lads have been sorting stuff out at the nursery where James was working yesterday with a digger, and Andrew's now gone sorting out that field again with the hollows in that we wanted to get flatter in the back garden, if you will, of the new farmhouse. Glad I bought these trailers when I did. Apparently they've gone up by £3,000 now, so they'll have to last a while. They should last a lot longer now though, because they're not getting used for heavy work. That's what the dump trailers are doing now, and the grain trailers can stay being grain trailers. It's 6 o'clock and Dental Logistics have turned up picking wood chip up for Jenkinson's. Typical, you know, we all kind of want to finish for the day when the wagon turns up. So my dad's on one telly, Andrew's on the other. Get him turned around out of the yard as fast as we can. There's Sam back in the yard now. Been carting stone around at the nursery. He's back for the night, hopefully. Bit of good news as well. The header's turned up for this beast, so we'll have a proper look at that tomorrow. And picnic benches are here for this year's sunflower maze. So my friend makes them for me. So last year, the ones that we used, we were going to sell on because everyone was like, "Where can I buy a picnic bench like that from?" Anyway, we didn't. We used them around at the other farm at Brookhouse. I should stop calling it the other farm or the new farm. We should just call it Brookhouse. This is Water Lane, and that's Brookhouse. And then the one with the deers is Elton Head. So yeah, so the 6 picnic benches here ready for this year's sunflower maze, which hopefully will be opening around August time, depending on how they grow and whether we get any rain on Sunday or not. In other news, the trailer is in the dealership. It's been PDI'd and it's in the way, so I don't know whether it's going to arrive tomorrow or I've got to go and pick it up, or it'll just be a job for Monday. I don't know. I did think that they were going to try and drop it off this afternoon, but they haven't. Anyway, it looks a bit like that one, but it's Richard Weston yellow, but it's made by Hog Engineering in Ireland, so hopefully it's going to be as good as that one is. Project Log Cabin Motorhome Office is still in the pallet, exactly where it was when it's delivered, because we've not even had time to open it, not to mention move the rubbish out the way and put a base down for it before we build it on it. So maybe next week we might get into that, I don't know. It just depends on the weather and whether the digger's back from the nursery job that he's working on at the moment. Quick comparison of these trailers. So that's a 20-ton Richard Weston dump trailer. That's a 20-ton JPM dump trailer. JPM are decent trailers, to be fair. We had a low loader off them, but it doesn't have a latch on the rear door like I said before. And the box on that one is 20% bigger than the box on this one. So that can carry the load on it without looking overloaded. When you load this one up, it looks like it's overloaded because it has to pile up out the top. And also the door doesn't shut very well, as you can see. A bit of light through it there. It did have bigger tyres on it. It's been swapped to normal road wheels off a wagon because they're cheaper to run, especially when you're running on surfaces a bit like this. But it's definitely got less steel in it because it does weigh 1.4 tonnes less than the other one. But it was a lot cheaper. You kind of get what you pay for, I would say. This was yesterday's quiz question. These straps, they do hold the sheet on the top. It's what's called an easy sheet. So we take the handle out of this holder here, the windy handle, not the silver windy handle, it's the handbrake, the little windy handle. Put that pin in, the top up here, you can see because the door's open a bit easier. Put it in that square at the top there, can you see it? Then you wind the sheet over when you've got, well, even if it's empty, but when you've got a load in, you wind it over what's in the trailer. Stops it from getting wet, and also when we're delivering to mills we have to have a sheet on it in case the bird poos on it. It can poo in a field on it all winter when it's growing and all summer, but as soon as it's on a trailer on the way to a mill it has to be sheeted just in case. Anyway, today's quiz question, dead easy one. Tomorrow's Saturday. If it's not raining, I've got some spraying to do. What have you got to do? Are you working? If you are, what are you doing? Have you got the day off? Are you nursing a hangover because you watched the football? I don't know, I think England and Scotland or something are playing tonight maybe. Just leave a comment below what you're up to tomorrow. Got a great outro from Albert Fletcher coming up. Unfortunately he sent it portrait, not landscape, so I can't do as much with it as I can if you send them landscapes. If you're going to send any outros on Instagram, send them landscape, which is squarewards, the way you're watching me now, not that way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. You can watch another video up here, you can watch another one up there. Make sure you've all watched the introduction video to the channel, and then you'll understand what it's about if you're new anyway. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and watch that, and I'll see you all tomorrow.